What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some new Digimon cards to be talking about. There were some revealed on the Twitter yesterday and today. There was so much news yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, so much news. But you know I'm going to catch up. I like Digimon. I like you guys. Let's talk some Digimon, shall we? I do need to give shout out, as always, to the lovely Jason Snowjacks for providing translation, Vincent Rekfan for making proxies, and just everyone over on the Facebook group for being frankly lovely, awesome people. Now, starting off, we need to have a quick look at Tingmon. Honestly, there's not a huge amount to say about Tingmon. We got a free cost to play normally, 0 cost to evolve, 3,000 power Digimon. Level 3, yellow. There really isn't very much to say, ladies and gentlemen. You see, we actually do have an equivalent to this over in the starter deck. In fact, we have two, both of which are inarguably objectively better. Tapemon is the same cost but is 4,000 power, and Salamon is the same power but is a 2 cost rather than a 3 cost. Now, there is every possibility that there's going to be some other card in the set that gains some kind of skill if it evolved from Tingmon, but that is literally the only reason to play it. I love the art, you probably love the art too, but unless we see a card that gains a specified advantage because it evolved from Tingmon, this is a bad card. Because you're literally better off playing Salamon or Tapemon. They're both vanilla yellow cards that are objectively better. Sorry. But there was a better card revealed yesterday, so instead of, looking at that too much, let's move on and have a gander at Tanamon. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these. So Tanamon then is a Digitama. We've not seen a green Digitama yet. We've seen red Digitama, yellow Digitama, blue Digitama. We've not seen any green yet, so this is very, very cool. We finally have one. What do we get? Well, it's got an inheritable skill, whereby if you evolved a Digimon once or more this turn, this Digimon gets 1,000 power for this turn. Now, it is very important to note that it does not stack. So if you evolve 3 times this turn, you don't get a 3,000 power bump. You just get the bump if you evolved this turn, which is alright. It's going to lead to some awkward decisions though, because it may well be that you've got a level 3 and a level 4 in your hand turn 1. You can evolve them both up. You can go level 2 to level 3 to level 4. But then if you don't have the level 5 next turn, you don't get the extra bump, whereas if you'd waited a turn to evolve into the level 4, you do get the extra bump in power. It is going to lead to some interesting situations in terms of, do I evolve now? I might not have the right evolution next turn and get the bump. Or do I wait a turn, but then I might miss a chance to evolve too late, have a weak Digimon that ends up being KO'd, etc. It's going to lead to some interesting decision. If we compare that to some of the other Digitama that we've seen, because like I've said, so far, we've seen exactly one Digitama for each colour now. We've got a red, a green, and a blue. Well, the red one actually looks kind of similar. It gets a bump of 1,000 power if it's got 4 or more evolution sources. Well, the thing is, with the red evolution, with the red Digitama, let's give him his name, Koromon. With Koromon, you got to have a level 6 or 7 Digimon. Because 4 or more evolution sources is level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, they're your evolution sources, so level 6 or above gets it. And when you get up to that stage, getting the 1,000 power bump is awesome, but it's going to take a little while to get there. Whereas Tanamon gives you that bump earlier. It gives you a much faster bump. However, it's not exactly perfect because it's got an expiration. At some point in the not too distant future, you're going to have evolved all the way up to a level 6, and then you're going to be done. You're not going to be able to have that anymore. And that's a bad thing. You're going to run out of time with this. You're going to get to a stage where actually this isn't good enough anymore. It's essentially vanilla. When you hit a level 6, and it's kind of the opposite of Koromon. When you hit a level 6, Koromon goes, yay, now I'm getting a boost. Whereas Tanamon goes, oh, now I'm literally pointless. For the other comparisons, Tokamon, when an opponent's Digimon is destroyed by having its power lowered to 0, you gain 1,000 power. So you want to be attacking with stuff like Seraphamon, destroying a Digimon, and then getting the extra power. It's good, and there's no you don't have to wait till the end. You don't have an expiration date, but it's not going to fire all that often. You're not going to get those skills working every time. And then similarly, you've got Tsunamon, which is you get an extra 1,000 DP, starting to see a pattern, when you're battling an opponent's Digimon with no evolution sources. So this is very similar to Tokamon in that way, in that you don't have to wait ages to get it working. You don't have a set expiration date of when it's going to be useless, but it's not always going to be there, and it's actually quite in your opponent's control. There are plenty of cards out there that you can use to remove evolution sources. Zudamon's a particular favourite of mine. Evolve into it, remove 2 evolution sources from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Hopefully that puts them down to 0, and then you get the boost. But the point is, it's going to be awkward. Going back to Tanamon, it's fine. It doesn't seem particularly better or worse than any of the other Digitama. They all can give a 1,000 power boost, but they're all under awkward situations. Now, I do also need to give a shout out here to Bobby J. Hyatt over on the Facebook group, who's also been getting involved with some of the translations. So, as I've said, lots of lovely people over on the Facebook group. Go team! So what do we have? Well, we've also got Mega Kabutoramon. What we see here is a 7 cost to play normally, 2 cost to evolve, 6,000 power, level 5 Digimon, which if we compare this to a similar kind of Digimon it's alright. No, I take it back, it's kind of underpowered. You see, we can look at a blocker like Unimon, and it's 6,000 power, but it's only 5 to play normally. Or we could look at another level 5 that costs 7 to play normally, like Metal Greymon, that's got 7,000 power. I do like that it only costs 2 to evolve, however, because pretty much every other level 5 we've seen costs 3 to evolve. 3 is the regular evolution cost for a level 5. And we're seeing this with Green Digimon. It's kind of confusing to me how they're bringing us level 3s that cost 1 to evolve. That's wrong, incidentally. That's expensive. But then they're giving us other Digimon, the green ones, that are cheaper to evolve than usual. Something's going on with the cost of evolving Green Digimon. So it's slightly underpowered, it's slightly expensive to play normally, but slightly cheap to evolve. Nothing simple, is it? But in terms of what it actually does, when you attack, it's an inheritable skill, so only when you've evolved into a level 6. You increase your memory by 1 if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in rest mode. And I actually really like this. This is really, really cool. I mean, getting extra memory is good, right? Memory is a resource we use to play the game. So obviously having extra memory would be a very good thing. We like it. Go team. Here's the thing. We actually saw yesterday a bunch of new green cards. And one of the things we saw about these new green cards is that they're actually... Well, green cards like to put your opponent into rest mode. So, for instance, yesterday we saw Rosemon, whereby when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you get to put another one of their Digimon into rest mode, only if they're attacking you, not if they're attacking another Digimon. And we saw Tentamon, whereby when you attack, you put one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 power or less into rest mode. And they're just 2 we've seen. You've got to assume there's probably going to be more. And now we are rocking and rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've got multiple cards, and like I say, multiple that we've seen, probably more that we haven't, that will put your opponent's Digimon into rest mode. And then we've got a Digimon that gives you extra memory if there is a Digimon sitting out there in rest mode. I cannot be the only one that thinks this is going to be a very fun combo. Put them all to rest, then start playing around and getting extra memory. And extra memory is good. The stats are all off. It really is an evolver, right? I like this with the green cards. There's something quite nice about the green cards coming down and saying, look, we're cheaper to evolve, go team. Yes, we've got a level 3 which you've got to pay to evolve and that sucks, but hey, we've got a level 4 that only costs 1 to evolve, and then there's level 5 that only costs 2 to evolve, so actually, maybe you can forgive us. And oh look, there's even one more card that's gone and been revealed. Testament, a yellow option card, and it's a free cost. When this card is played, make one of your Digimon into a blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then there is a security skill there whereby you draw a card and add it to your hand. So it's not one of those ones that you get to just play for free if it comes out as a security card, but being able to draw a card and having it in your hand, it is not a bad consolation prize. That'll do, pig. That'll do. And this is a fun card. Blockers are good. Now, as it stands at the moment, we've seen a few blockers. All of these starter sets had an identical card. It was Unimon in the yellow deck. We had them in the red and blue as well. Literally identical cards. 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 6,000 power with blocker, and you lose 2 memory when you attack. I should mention, blocker means that when an opponent's Digimon attacks, whether it's you or one of your resting Digimon, you get to turn the card to rest and redirect the attack towards yourself. It's good. It's really good. I got all excited the other day because we actually saw a nice cheap blocker. It was good old Mon who came around as a 4 cost to play, 1 cost to evolve level 3 with blocker. And blocker's good. And I've made no secret of the fact that I believe very strongly, incidentally, that this game is going to come down a lot of the time to what our options are in terms of blockers and recovery. Blockers stop your opponent attacking you, and recovery lets you take cards from your deck and put them down as extra security cards. Because if we don't have good options for blocking and good options for recovery, then what's essentially going to happen is we're all going to run out of security cards very quickly. Most of the games are going to last a couple turns and it's going to be over. We don't want that. But if we've got lots of blockers and lots of recovery cards, we can stop our opponent attacking, we can put extra security cards down, and we can make the games last a lot longer, and they can be more back and forth and more tactical and more fun. I like the idea of having the possibility of games where I can just load up a super aggro deck, take away 5 security cards in 2 turns and win, but I also like the idea of having a game where I can have 4, 5, 6 blockers on the field and a bunch of recovery cards, and it's going to take my opponent 20 turns to take away 5 of my security cards. And games are healthier when we've got those options. When you can play multiple different kinds of decks and they're all viable strategies. We've not seen the whole of New Evolution. We don't know how it's going to work for now, but we do know that we've got some blockers and some options, and the fact that we've already seen Mon, a cheap blocker, and now we've got Testament as well, an option card that can make anyone into a blocker, this is good. And bearing in mind, right, what you can do is you can play Testament to make Magnadramon into a blocker. And now you've got a 12,000 power blocker. And your opponent's going to know you play it on your turn, it lasts until the end of their turn. So if your opponent tries to attack you, they know you've got a 12,000 power blocker. Which means you might not have to block. Your opponent might go, I'm going to wait a turn, it's not worth it, I'm going to get destroyed. Which means you don't have to go into rest mode. I love it. I think this is a really, really good option card that is going to be extremely impactful. And the fact that either you're going to draw into it or it's going to come out as a security card and you're going to draw into it is kind of brilliant. It means you're not going to have it flipped. Because imagine, right, if it was a security card, you got to play it for 0, you flip it as a security card, you make one of your Digimon into a blocker, you don't want to, you don't have one when you need it. No, ladies and gentlemen, this seems extremely well designed to me. So those are the 4 new cards we've seen on Twitter over the last couple of days, what they are, what they do, and why I'm excited. But this is a stage, ladies and gentlemen, where I want to know what you think about all of these cards, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and any other games that take our fancy. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.